Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Oddtastic, your comedian's guide to autism. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk Smith, and my co-host and buddy,
Graham K. What's up, everybody?
Boom.
Welcome back. This is a big sode. I mean, I can't tell you how big it is.
big one.
It's exciting. Yeah. Wow. So, in review, Kirk is not on a cruise ship. Kirk is in my hometown of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
I was in your home a few minutes
ago.
ago.
You were in my home.
I was in your bedroom, bouncing up and down,
home.
jumping up and down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're the only one who's ever done that in there. But anyway, it is not my childhood home, but it is the one that my parents moved to when I was 20. So I spent a couple weird years there, figuring out what I was going to do after college, delivering sandwiches, wondering if I made the right choice, quitting my corporate job to start comedy.
We didn't cover this before, but I can turn on the video, by the way, if you want me to turn on the video. But your dad gave me a tour of your town, and we drove by. This is the house that Graham grew up in. And then he went off to did he tell you about going off to school? I'm like, yeah. He said he had a disciplinary problem or something. He's like, yeah, well, when he was gone, we moved, and we didn't tell him. Like, he made kind of a joke, like they were. Yeah. And I was like, witness protection? Were you guys on the run or something like that? It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad for a computer programming kind of guy. It was not a bad joke.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
I don't. That's not really true, but he did send me away.
It's a good joke.
Yeah, he thinks it's funny. He sent me away to boot camp because I had OCD, and then when I was gone, they did move and didn't really consult me.
Well,
they're like, yeah, we moved.
I think it was the violence more than the OCD, but sure, okay, it's both. Yeah, I feel like on this podcast, I'm always on the parent's side, and Graham's always on the kid's side. It's pretty funny.
Whatever. No violence. Anyway, yeah. Pops and I got into it as teens and dads do sometimes, but
I had a thing with my dad too. I remember one time I said something to my mom, and my dad did not appreciate it, and I turned, and next thing I know, I was waking up. That's your mom, but that's my wife. Nobody talks to my wife like that. Okay, good note. Thanks. Pretty funny, but it was a different time.
It was a different time. It was a different time not too long ago. Yeah, you met my dad. My parents are sweet people. They took you. So here's the thing.
Yeah, we buried the lead.
Kirk's in Ottawa. He goes. You know, if you've been listening to the past couple of episodes, you know that Kirk wanted to hang out with my brother. We organized it. Kirk called me at. We had a joint phone call with my brother and Kirk yesterday, and we organized that they were going to meet at 12:30 at a local diner near my parents' house. And then Peter suggested it, and then today I got a text from Kirk like at 12:15 being like, "Is this thing happening?" I just said yes, not even consulting with Peter because I know Peter's always on time. Peter probably got you. Definitely, he was there before.
I was 5 minutes early, and he was there before me.
That's right. That's my man.
Well, it's better to be early than to be late. That's what he told me. I'm like, that's very true, man. You're not wrong.
Him and I are the opposite. We're the exact opposite.
I know, but together you guys make a complete man. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You're like that Jerry and George episode on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
We're not men.
Exactly.
Not even close.
Not even close. Yeah. Yeah. So Kirk met Peter for the first time in 6 years of this podcast.
Yeah, at least 6 years. Yeah, 6, 7 years. Yeah, crazy. He's doing good, I think. We talked about his job at the Heart and Crown. We talked about his old job. We talked about how he really does not like your parents asking him to watch their dog because he doesn't like to leave his apartment. And we talked about bullying in school. We talked about
the hits.
Action figures. We talked about somebody who borrowed his phone one time to make a phone call and didn't return it.
Brian Moore.
And I wasn't going to say the name, but sure. And who what else did we talk about? Bunch of stuff. It was good. You know, my initial reaction is, you know, we've said this before. I've said this many times. Is excuse me. My initial reaction. I've said this many times. But if you've met one person with autism, you met one person with autism. So, you know, Peter is very verbal. You know, he got there before the waitress was when he was ordering. He wanted a sandwich, and then he wanted the side salad with Caesar and chicken, and then the waitress was like kind of walking him through. Well, that's a different thing, and he was able to navigate it on his own. You know, he didn't need my help. There was, you know, they did a little back and forth, but it wasn't like he understood. It took him a second, but he figured it out. And yeah, it was good. And then, you know, the food arrives. We've eaten 6 bites, and he's like, "Who's going to pay for this?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." I said, I could pay for it if you want. You know, it's not. Well, we could split it." And I said, "I could pay for it. I'm you know." And
he said we could split it.
Yeah, he said we could split it.
Good.
And then I guess,
Good.
and later I don't want. So then I go. Well, I'm rich. It's a joke in America. Like, if you see how I'm dressed and what I look like, and I'm a comedian and I'm not famous, I'm clearly not rich. So I'm rich is clearly a joke. I'm clearly not rich, but it's a little haha. You know, it's a little dad joke, a little simple joke. But then he was like, "Well, you can't pay for it unless my mom says it's okay." So then we called your mom to see if it was okay, and she's like, "Yeah, because he needs to not assume that it's gonna be paid for." And it was like, I was really blown away by how capable he is compared to where my son's at right now.
Yeah. He's like a 5-year-old.
I would say 7 or 8. My son, I feel like it's like 4 or 5, but I don't know.
Okay.
He can talk. He can read the menu, right? He read the menu, I think.
Yep. He can talk and read. Okay, maybe. Yeah. He's like maybe a 7-year-old.
He has some blind spots with money and a few other things, sure, but there's some things he can do. He can definitely read.
Yeah. Who's a 7-year-old that's safe to ride the bus on his own, knows how to ride the bus.
And he ate very gentlemanly, you know, just ate very, you know. Yeah.
My parents, both of them, have put a lot of hard work
for sure.
there. He has
very obvious.
Imagine you have a 7-year-old and you can just give them 30 years of repetition.
Yeah. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yes. This is what happens if you had a 7-year-old and you for 30 years drilled how to do the bus, how to order, how to read, how to you know, I love that he asked. I love that he offered to pay half.
Yeah.
I'm actually blown away.
I was surprised too.
Because he wouldn't do that for me, which is fine. I mean, I'm his brother. He gets it. But I like that he knows the distinction.
But I think it's also
of the
nice.
relationship.
It's nice to ask. He doesn't know me. I'm some guy. It's like, and he goes, "We
Yes.
could split it," you know, which is the right move. You don't offer to pay. Why would you pay for me? No, you offer to split it.
I love that. I'm gonna tell him that what he did was awesome.
It was very good. And then he ate very, you know, because eating was a thing we strove with my son. Just like, don't use your hands. You know, use a napkin. I go at the beginning. I'm going to wash my hands. I should wash my hands too. He goes, washes his hands. It was just very. Then we went on a brisk walk. He likes to power walk. He's freaking pounding.
He loves it. You know what? He's not obese because he walks a lot. I think. I mean, his eating habits are you know, not great but not terrible. I mean, he definitely every time he'll eat a cheeseburger and then a side chicken Caesar every time he goes to a restaurant.
Well, he
just
had a ham
basically
and
2
cheese
lunches
this time and a side Caesar, so he mixed it up.
Nice. Okay, nice. And but and the guy walks a lot.
Well, that's another thing.
You know.
He's much smaller than JJ. JJ is probably another 60, 70 pounds bigger. JJ's a big man.
But my brother is 6'2", 230. 225.
Yeah, he might be 6. Yeah.
6'1".
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. He doesn't really stand up straight, but yeah, he might be 6'1". But he's
he's about 230, and I think JJ's got to be 270. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother's not a small kid though.
No, he's not. But JJ makes me look petite in all these pictures, and I'm 210.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Just it was it was cool. It was very interesting. He can figure out. He knows how to pay. He knows how to. The lady goes. I think we're ready to order, and he goes. I don't think I'm going to order any beer. I can't remember what the reason was. He said, "Give me some reason," and then the waitress was really sweet. She's like, "You don't have to do anything you don't want to do," or something like that. It was really cute. So he had a milkshake.
He's always like trying to, I think he had too many beers, and a family hang of some sort recently, and I think my mom was like, you've had too many beers. You said you were going to only have, 2, and you had 4.
Yeah, I remember this.
Probably had 6.
Yeah.
And then so he puts himself. My parents don't do this. He puts himself on notice for like a month with beers. He'll be like, all right, then I won't have beers until
October,
November or something, and he'll make some arbitrary date. And it's a month or 2 months, and then he'll never quite do it, but he'll.
Well, I'll tell you what, he enjoyed that milkshake. He does not mess around. He was done. I wasn't even half done. He was done with everything and his milkshake. And he was talking the whole time. So I'm like,
yeah.
Which is fine. I eat very slow, but yeah. But it was fun. It was really fun.
Kirk, you're a good man.
I don't know.
I love you, buddy.
It's fun to meet him.
I can't tell you how when your worlds collide, it's delightful.
Yeah, it was funny. I don't know if he's going to come to the thing. He was very stressed about packing. Because I did mention to your dad, you guys can come if you want. I can probably get you on the list. And he's like, well, we'll have a talk about it. I'm like, I'm not on commission. You don't have to come. I think it's sold out. But, yeah, so I was just teasing him a little bit.
Pete's stressed about this packing. He's coming to visit me in New York with my parents.
3 days, yeah.
So I probably can't come tonight. He probably can't come tonight because he's got to travel in 3 days.
Yeah, and then your mom said when they get back, we get back at 8 at night. We can drive you home that night, or you can stay here. And he's like, I don't know if I can stay here. So they're like, we don't have to decide right now. So.
Yeah.
There was a theme of that lunch today. It was like, you can't make me stay. I want to go.
Yeah, he just is so afraid people are going to rip away his apartment.
But it was good. It was very good. We tried to talk about sports. I tried to ask him about girls. I tried to ask him about... Yeah, it's just...
I know what he said. I know what he said to each of those. Let me tell you what he said about sports. He said, I used to be a Sens fan, an Ottawa Senators fan, but I don't much care for sports anymore. I had problems with stupid Leaf fans in high school, and I'm just much more into Spider-Man these days and action figures.
Very close, very close. Somebody, I guess, borrowed his phone during a sports thing, somebody else, and he did not appreciate it. And, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that soured him on basketball.
He got suspended for punching a Leafs fan, a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
He didn't mention that.
Yeah. It was the height of the Ottawa-Toronto rivalry. It's perfectly understandable if you know Ottawa's sports landscape in the early 2000s. Yeah. And then what was the other question?
What else did I ask him about? He really was upset about COVID.
Girls.
Oh, girls. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he probably said, I'm not much into girls. I don't think I want a girlfriend until I'm in my age 40s.
I think it's something about how busy he is. He's really busy. Yeah.
Very busy. He's just very busy.
But yeah, it was great. It was really interesting. Really, really interesting. And he was very upset about the size of your other dog because it was too big to get in his apartment too. We talked about that for a good 10 minutes.
He loved the new dog. He can get into his apartment. So when my parents leave, he doesn't, and he takes care of the dog. He can keep the dog in his apartment.
That's what he likes.
It's the size that he can hold in the hallway. Because you have to have a dog that you can hold in the hallway in his apartment complex. So he doesn't have to go to my parents' house, so which means he doesn't have to worry about my parents tricking him and to moving back home and selling his apartment while he's gone, which is his fear.
Which is unlikely to happen anytime soon, let me tell you.
Yeah, yep. Trust me, my parents love having him over there.
Yeah. I think they like having their art in their space, yeah.
Yeah.
But
What'd you think of my parents? You got to see them parent Peter a little bit.
well,
A
the first
few
thing that jumps out at
moments.
me is, statistically, and your mom brought this up, and she's not wrong. Is like she's like we're still together, which is like honestly the truth. It's like a real. Um, the divorce rates for people with a disabled
Yeah.
child are very very high. A disability of any kind, Downs, anything. So it's just an added stressor that really highlights any of the negative things, and it takes out a lot of your free time to like just go on your own, and usually one of the parents is a little bit more um, concerned with taking care of them, and the other parent's like, yeah, that's great, I like you, I chose you. This kid's here and that's terrific, but I like to spend time with you by myself. um,
Mm-hmm.
so I was obviously I was impressed. Yeah, I think it's there's 74 and or 70s. I don't remember what they all held there. 70s, 74, 70, 71. And
My dad's 75. My mom is about to turn 75.
and
But I think they look good for 75.
well, yeah, one of your big concerns is taking care of them. But shoot, at this rate, they might live another 20 years. They might be taking care of you. They might outlive both of you.
Yeah, yeah. They look good, right?
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're still getting around. They can talk. They can. They look great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a big long.
Boozing every night. No.
What's that?
My mom runs on wine, and
She's
it's
an
treating
Eastern
her
European. I get it. She's got to get
Yeah.
that wine in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potatoes and wine.
Potatoes.
Yeah, but they eat their salads, and I honestly think all the stairs in that house help with their
There's
health.
a lot of stairs.
They're walking, 2 flights a day at least.
Well,
to go to their bedroom is 2 full flights.
Not a day. They're going up and down the stairs more than once a day. I went up
Yeah.
them 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go up and go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in beautiful Ottawa this week. Yeah, it's beautiful here. Yeah, it's beautiful here. Yeah, they're coming down to see you in New York. How's your week going, buddy?
My week's going great. I'm getting ready for the big visit. I have a friend named Tom Delgado who does. He used to do walking tours in New York, and he was a comedian and is a comedian, and he parlayed that into a successful YouTube page, which he lives off now, doing tours of New York on YouTube, which you can watch for free on YouTube. Tom Delgado. And just Google that, New York, and all of it will come up. He has different neighborhoods. But anyway, I commissioned Tom.
You know what Delgado
to
means in
do-
Spanish, right?
Of the gato.
No, skinny, slim, Delgado, Delgado.
Oh, nice.
It's like saying Tom Skinny, Skinny Tom, Skinny Tom. That's
Not the opposite of del gordo.
I don't know what delgado means thin. Yeah, del gato would be from the cat. Yeah, del gordo would be, that's 2 different words, but yeah. Yeah, you could be
Yeah.
like, I'm Susie del gordo. That means your dad's the fatty. That's pretty fun.
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead. Tom Delgado.
Anyway, I commissioned Tom to come out of retirement
Ooh.
and create a hybrid history / Spider-Man tour for David and Peter.
David who? Your dad, David.
My
I call him
dad.
Mr. Graham, sorry.
Mr. Graham.
I'm just teasing you.
Why do Americans always do that?
I'm just teasing. I call
They
him.
always think my first name is my last
Well,
name.
you have 2 first names.
Kay is not a first name. What am I, a 1950s housewife
It's
selling
a lady's
Tupperware?
name, yeah.
Kay is a last name. Danny Kay, that's a famous comedian.
With the E in it.
Yeah.
I'm just playing with you. I'm just messing with you, Graham.
Danny Kay spelt it Kay.
Did he really? I don't know who that is, but I
Yeah.
believe you. Canadian?
Nope. Borscht Belt, Jewish.
Oh. I'll have to look him up. I like it. I think you're going to add the Peter Pan Bakery to it, which has they filmed the last, not the last, two Spider-Mans ago. They filmed one of the last scenes in it, and I went in there. I go, was this in the last Spider-Man? And it's this Polish bakery. These old people like, yes. What do you want? I'm like, oh, okay.
That's good intel. I'm going to take him there.
Yeah. There's a scene where Mary Jane forgets who he is, and he goes to meet her, and she's working there. and you see the signage, and it's exactly that. It's exactly that. Yeah,
Awesome.
it's really awesome. Well, that's awesome.
Well, I'm going to take him. So we're going to do that. I'm just trying to think of other things to do with him, and then we're going to go axe throwing at a bar.
Ooh, I've been there. That's nice.
Yeah. They're coming at 5, so I'm going to go all the way to Newark and pick them up. My car is too small for my family. I can fit 3 people in that car. Everyone is big. So I'm going to pick them up and just help them navigate the trains and carry their luggage and stuff like that. I'll be a little porter.
It's good service. That's what you want when you want a porter. You want a guy with a bad hip and a bad shoulder. And
bad hip, bad shoulder.
Bad hair. Yeah, all of it.
A cold coming on. Hair is not bad, although
great.
Latest YouTube video, a lot of people saying I have a bad hairline.
What's a lot of people too?
No, I had a video on, actually it's an Instagram video where I make fun of people over 35, men wearing flat brim hats, because nobody wears flat brim hats.
I thought it was a good video. It went viral.
Yeah, almost 1 million, and a lot of guys who did not know that flat brim hats are basically like wearing bell bottoms were really insulted, and they just started saying I had a bad hairline, which honestly, for 42, my hairline is good.
You look great,
For
buddy.
22, it's a bad hairline. Side note, Peter got a haircut. He got a very close cropped haircut, and he's receding now.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Wow.
Not as bad as JJ.
Great.
JJ's like full on. Yeah, it's transparent up top.
So I've been taking hair pills for 15 years, and what it does is Propecia. It just stops the loss. It doesn't grow, just stops it. It freezes it in time, and if you stop taking it, within 3 months your hair will fall out to where it would have been had you never taken the hair pills. So
you're addicted.
Well, kind of. I'm single, so I kind of have to be. My plan is to marry somebody and then stop taking them.
Then immediately go bald. She'll love that.
And then be like, gotcha! Tricked ya! I'm old.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
So anyway,
Peter
is like...
Yeah, I can see. Oh.
Peter is my control group. I always look at his hair, and I'm like,
he's younger.
This is what it might be. But he kind of has the same hair I do now.
Yeah, he's
maybe
got the
a
little
thicker.
Side widow's peak thing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, very
That's
handsome
the first.
man. He was very, they were very kind to him at the restaurant. It was great. It was a great day.
I'm really, Kirk, thank you so much for taking him out. I'm so happy you met my brother. I'm so happy you're in his life now. Did he ask for your email address?
No, he did not. I figure if he wants to, he will. We talked about the list,
lucky.
but he didn't.
You are lucky.
He didn't ask. Should we do
you're
this?
in his life, though.
Should we do this in the news? What do you think? Thanks, man. It was good to meet him. It was great.
Thank you. Let's do in the news. You found it. You want to read
I
it?
feel like I talked more this episode, though. You want to read it? I don't want to speak over you. It's up to you.
Oh, that's the classic Kirk trick.
I'll do it if you want. I've got it queued up, and I've got internet this week.
I think we talked the same amount. You read it.
Transcranial magnetic stimulation can treat depression. Developing research suggests it could also be used to help autism, ADHD, and OCD. This was in the conversation, which we've never had an article in, but we cross-referenced it to
Yes.
Oxford University links to it. So I think it's legit.
We think it's legit. We're trying not to read fake news. I don't think we've ever done that. Probably we might have read one sketchy one in the past 6-7 years, but we do try and we both have degrees. One of the things degrees teach you is to
check your sources,
scout for BS.
Yeah.
And I think this one's legit. So read along.
Since the start of COVID-19 pandemic, there's been more attention given to the problems of mentally ill, including depression, than ever before. A new therapeutic option, especially for depression, transcranial magnetic stimulation, is slowly helping to address some of these considerable unmet needs in the community. Research is also exploring the use of transcranial magnetic stimulation in many other conditions, including obsessive compulsive disorder, autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, chronic pain, and perhaps to slow the progression of dementia symptoms. What we do know so far about this emerging form of treatment is it living up to its promise? How does it work, and who's getting it now? Transcranial magnetic stimulation involves the application of a series of magnetic pulses through a coil placed on the scalp. It sounds like Magneto from one of these X adventures, but anyway. While the patient sits in a chair awake and relaxed, the magnetic field activates nerve cells in the brain, gradually changing the activity of brain circuits disrupted in depression. This is thought to help restore the normal interactions between the brain regions. Side effects. Sorry, what was that?
I said, interesting.
Yeah, weird, right? Side effects are usually mild and temporary, and they include scalp discomfort, headache, tingling, and a facial twitching, and feeling lightheaded for a short time after the session. There is consistent evidence for the effectiveness of transcranial magnetic stimulation treatments for acute episodes of depression. Its use is supported by many clinical trials as well as real-world studies showing benefits in more than 50% of the patients receiving treatment. It attracted Medicare funding several years ago, is now being progressively rolled out in Australia. But there are several remaining problems for use of the transcranial magnetic stimulation treatment. They should really abbreviate this to TSMST. That's probably harder. First, it involves a patient coming into the clinic daily, Monday to Friday, for 4 to 6 weeks. This is inefficient and costly. Both these problems may ultimately be resolved through the development of what are referred to as accelerated protocols, treatments that give higher doses in a few days. A patient may have 4 or 5 days of high-dose treatment 4 or 5 days of high-dose treatment in 1 week rather than all the treatment doses spread out over a month or more. Studies both local and overseas have started to show more efficient delivery and very rapid clinical trial benefits with these new regimes. What about other conditions? Alongside the clinical rollout of transcranial magnetic stimulation for depression, research is increasingly demonstrating its potential for other conditions. A series of studies have demonstrated that a somewhat different type of transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is able to stimulate deeper regions of the brain but still comes from the scalp-based coil, can be effective to treat the symptoms of some patients with OCD. This is critical. I'm going to jump ahead from OCD because this is really an autism. This isn't really an autism one, not really an OCD podcast. Okay, here we go. Research has already demonstrated transcranial magnetic stimulation may improve at least temporarily.
But they are related, OCD
Yes.
and autism. They are from the same part of the brain,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
helps a guy like me.
Yeah, and we've talked about this. You're right. They're 100% connected. Where was that? Research has already demonstrated thinking abilities can improve at least temporarily the thinking abilities in a range of disorders, including Alzheimer's. This is now being applied to see if it can improve attention for patients with ADHD. For this research, though this research now is in its infancy, will the effects last? So far, the quality of the evidence on the persistence of effects and the need for maintenance treatments with the use of transcranial magnetic stimulation in depression is patchy. Research is looking at whether ongoing transcranial magnetic stimulation, less often, maybe perhaps one treatment every 2 weeks, may prevent the reoccurrence of depression in patients who have responded well. Preliminary studies suggest maintenance treatments are effective, but there have been insufficient high-quality studies to convince Medicare to provide a subsidy for it. In clinical practice, and from the limited evidence, it seems clear that if a patient responds on one occasion to transcranial magnetic stimulation, they're likely to again. Until this is resolved, patients are in an unenviable situation. They know that there's an effective treatment that has worked for them already, but they can only access it through considerable expense or via lengthy private hospital admission. Excuse me. Well, what do you think, old grandma?
It's like what we say every time we read something about new research that could be beneficial, is that it's just a sign of hope. We read these things not because we know what we're talking about, but because we just want to show you guys that there is still stuff happening, and it's the research is constant. Hope is growing. Things are moving. We don't know when you'll be able to get access to these things or if you can financially, but things are out there. And it seems scary, waves being shot into your brain, that historically doesn't have a great context. But, yeah, I think it's great and hopeful. I don't really have much to add other than that. I thought that was a good article, and I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Very interesting. I mean, to me, anytime something is non-invasive, although, I mean, technically, some sorts of, anytime something's non-invasive, it's always positive. It doesn't seem like too many downsides. The side effects are not crazy. Seems like an obvious one. If there's a little helmet you wear a few hours a day while you're watching TV or something that stimulates your brain, great. I'm down.
Yeah. They could maybe hook it up to the hair growth one, that little helmet.
Ooh.
You could get 2 for 1.
They could do
Bing,
like
bang,
one
boom.
of those giant hair bee things. They could dry out your hair so it looks terrific right before your show. Give you a little brain zap.
Man.
Boom.
3 things. Boom. You get rid of my OCD, get me thicker hair, get me those curls locked in.
I'm Graham K, and I'm here to meet girls. Do you worry about your hairline?
This is my full, thick hair and a perm, and I don't have OCD anymore.
What was that guy the comedian who got famous from the Sham Wow? That could be you, but for hair.
Was that guy a comic?
He was, but he made much more money with it's this, it's that. I'm from Florida. It's the Sham Wow guy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's from Florida. He also got canceled, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah. He had a few addiction problems.
I don't remember the details, but
I remember, but I'm not saying it on this podcast.
The enthusiasm of your let me know they were quite lurid.
Yeah, there was very spicy.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you got going on, Graham? Anything you want to plug?
I do have something I want to plug. Something pretty huge.
Boom.
I am spending thousands of dollars
Woo-hoo!
renting and producing my own off-Broadway show. I need you to come. It is
That's
at
what it's called.
St. Mark's Theater. It's called Pete and Me, a non-depressing look at autism and family. It's a show about love. It's everyone who's. I just did my final kind of workout in New Jersey last week.
Love it.
And we had some siblings of people with autism and family and parents. A family came with their daughter who has a sibling with autism, and everyone loved it. I really, really liked you always worry that you're like not striking the right chord. There's not enough love behind it. It's too funny maybe, or as if someone who grows up in a family, you get it, and you worry that other people don't, or maybe I'm a comedian, I have a sick sense of humor, and I'm not making fun of my brother, and they get that, and they're like, no, not at all. Why would we think that? You obviously love your brother so much. It's a show about love, and it strikes the right chord. It's the best thing I've ever done. You will like it if you come see it. That's the Graham K guarantee.
Love it.
It is at Under St. Mark's Theater. We have 2 shows we have 3 shows in September, 14th, 15th, 16th. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. Tickets are available at grahamk.com. Also, if you just Google Under St. Mark's Theater, New York City, that'll come up. Also, we have tickets October 7 and 9, I believe, and then the following weekend, which is like, there's you get it.
There's tickets.
There's 14, 15, 16 of October.
I like it. And what's your social again?
No, of September. Sorry. I'm sorry. 14, 15, 16th of September. And then 5 and 7th of October, and 12, 13, 14th of October as well.
Love it.
And that's Mr. Graham K on Instagram. And and X. Anyway, how about you, Kirk?
That's great. This week I am in Ottawa. I've got 8 more shows here in beautiful Ottawa at Absolute Comedy, one of the best clubs in Canada, in my opinion. And I surprisingly have done probably 15 clubs in Canada, which there's only like 30 clubs in Canada. I'm joking. But I've done quite a few, and this is a very well-run club. I'll be here all week till Monday. Next weekend, the 15th, I will be taping a dry bar special in Provo, Utah. If you're in Utah, I'll be putting out a link for tickets. Also, on my website, there's a button. If you would click on that button and add me to your email list button, just give me your email, and it goes to a Google form. You put your email and your city. I'd love to come to your city. That's it, guys. Add me on YouTube or Facebook or Tinder or something, guys. I'm out there. Have a great week.
He's out there.
You can do it.